Chapter 3: The Islands West of Sumatra. Part 1: Nias. Economic life, villages and houses. The Nias villages commonly are built of two rows of pile houses, with an open square in the center paved with stone. This form of settlement extends down to into the Batu Islands. The common name for the house throughout the islands is Omo. The houses are inhabited by one or more families. It is customary for a father and his married sons to live in one dwelling, with perhaps other related people as well. In the north, the slaves likewise live in the family house, but in the south they have homes of their own. All the social life of the village may take place in the family houses. Guests are received, feasts celebrated, and all work other than agriculture may be performed in the homes. The houses serve as gathering places at night when there is no work to be done as well. In the north, the houses are often in form, while in the south they are four-cornered. The, the partitions of houses, however, are everywhere similar. The main principle is that there could be a large, fairly round room in the front, facing the village square, with a hearth at the rear. Behind this room are the sleeping quarters. In the south, special rooms are sometimes erected here for married couples. In the center of the island, a few houses resemble the communal houses, with a gallery in front and separate rooms for families to the rear. Schroeder has designated the most important house parts as follows: 1. The under portion of wooden posts, between which are the pig pens, 2 steps or ladders. 3. The front room for public life, cut off from the rear by horizontal lattice. 3. The front room for public and private the front room for the public life, cut off from the rear by horizontal lattice work. 4. A hut and private at the back of the living room. 5. The same arrangement behind the sleeping room. 6. A double palm leaf room. Smoke from the house goes up to the top roof and out of the houses. The house of ships in the south of, are of imposing architecture and ornamentation. They are very much larger and made of better material and workmanship than those of commoners. The height of the roof is correlated to the splendor of the house. While it takes but a few months to build the house of a commoner, that of a chief takes several years. The house of one chief took 5 years to build. When a new house is to be built, drums are beaten to scare away the ghosts, and sacrifices are made by a priest. This is a time for feasting. Special offerings are made to Lowalangi, the sky god, so that the building will be formed. Pigs also are rolled from the roof and killed inside the foundations of the building. Formerly, human sacrifices were made at the time of the erection of the bull, and heads were hung before the idols. At the completion of the building, more heads had to be offered. The house furniture is very simple. The people sleep on wooden pillows and have tablets of stone and of wood. Clothing and decorations are kept in elaborately carved wooden chests. Stacks are attached to the walls for lances and clubs. The floor is covered with mats woven from leaves, and food is kept in rattan baskets. The skulls of animals killed in the chests decorated with the walls. In the large villages, the valley still is to be found. These are small primitive buildings in which wooden ancestral idols are kept. In one village, the valley consisted of a room made from 4 upright pillars reaching from the ground to the roof. There were no side walls. In this valley, 17 heads were stored. The priests used the valley when they wished to communicate with the ancestors. The valley in Nias is no longer an assemblage place, although it is thus mentioned in stories, nor is it a man's house. Strangers coming to a village and having no other place to stay, however, sometimes lodge overnight in the valley. The valley of Nias is of far too degenerate a form to be used for tribal council, as among the Bataks, the house of the most prominent village chief is used for this purpose. The villages of the south always were fortified by walls, stone steps, and doorways, while the northern villages depended more on natural fortifications. The stone steps leading up to a village often remain after the houses themselves have fallen into decay. Near the village is always the bathing place of man and woman. This is a four-cornered bath made of stone. Water is let into it by means of stone gutters. In other villages, water is conveyed to the bath by bamboo carriers. When a village is situated near a river, this is used for bathing. The smith is situated either in or outside the village. Food. The principal food of the Niha is vegetable. Other foods are eaten but rarely, excepting at fish when pigs are in great favor. On the northern coast, however, fish is eaten in quantity. The chief vegetable foods are rice, sago, maize, taro, and yams. There is a number of stories relating how rice was introduced into Nias by the gods, but no historical account of its actual introduction. This cereal is used very much more at the present time than it was formerly, but the wet and dry variety are gone. The usual Malaysian rice mother customs are observed. When the rice is in blossom, the rice mother is addressed by the priest. Then the rice harvesting begins. At the end of the harvest, three stalks of rice are bound together and brought to an idol. The image is addressed in prayer and given a sacrifice of pigs and chickens. Yams are eaten the greater part of the year. In certain localities, maize is planted in the rice fields. Taro is eaten everywhere on the island, and coconuts are important as food, especially in the south. There is an origin story relating that the first coconut tree sprouted after 7 years from a boy who was buried in a sack. And elsewhere on the islands, the natives chew sugar cane to obtain its sap. Sago is prepared in times of food scarcity and is used for food on fishing trips. The tree, which grows in swampy localities, is cut down, the bark removed, and the meal washed and sieved. Palm wine is partaken of, especially in the north. The men drink it to zest at fish, but women and children do not join in the drinking. Better is chewed throughout the entire island. The natives also smoke Japanese tobacco and chew it with betel nut. Salt is obtained from seawater and traded inland. The domestic animals eaten include chicken, goats, carabao, pigs, and ducks. Pigs, both domestic and wild, are the chief source of animal food. The heathen and Christian people over the entire island, with the exception of the Mohammedan people on the coast, eat pork. Pigs are killed as fish, and the flesh, when dried, formerly served as a medium of exchange. The slaughter of pigs Bowie takes place before the dwelling of this giver or in the house itself. The animal is killed by stabbing, the body seen, and then cut into sections. The division of the carcass is a momentous occasion, since every person present has rights to certain sections, and in former days a mistake would have caused feud and wars. The head of the pig goes to the foremost chief present. The meat is cooked in native pottery or imported in iron pots. Both pigs and roosters are casted and fattened for fish. Chickens likewise are used chiefly as sacrificial animals. The livers and the feathers are given as food to the spirits. At first, hundreds of children are decapitated by the Partakers. The eggs of the fowl likewise are eaten. Most of the ducks consumed Most of the duck consumed are of a wide variety found on the coast. Carabao are as yet rarely to be found inland. On the coast, they are killed for Mohammedan fish. Goats likewise are of recent importation. The wild animals eaten include boar, apes, deer, civet, porcupine, sea and land turtle, leguan, boas, constrictor, birds, and great variety of fish. Mice and rats, the wild cat, snakes and frogs are not eaten. Mice are avoided because they are thought to contain the source of ancestors. Women are forbidden monkey. Are for Women are forbidden monkey meat. The reason given being that a woman once turned herself into a monkey. While all white animals belong to the blue spirits Bella, albino animals are especially protected by the spirits and therefore are not eaten. Hunting is conducted for, but the- is conducted both for the purpose of getting rid of harmful animals and to obtain animals for food. Thus, rats are caught in nose traps, and cats are highly esteemed for their mouse-catching propensities. Whales are shot, and owls are hunted down in their midst to prevent them bringing rain to the island by their hooting. Crocodiles are highly respected as elsewhere in Indonesia. In Nias, they are thought to have been sent by Lowalangi. These animals are hunted only after they have stolen pigs. They are then either caught with a hook baited with chicken or they are spared. Their skins are used on festive occasions. The seafood animals which are hunted are boar, deer, and monkeys. Boar are sometimes hunted. Boar are sometimes hunted during rainy nights when they are unable to hear and are driven into bamboo traps or nets. Dogs are used in the latter drive. Sometimes pointed lances are planted on the paths which the boars are accustomed to travel. Deer likewise are killed by this method. Monkeys are shot or are caught in traps which permit them entrance but not exit. Birds are shot with a blowgun and are caught in nets, traps, and falls. Wild pigs are smoked out for the sale of the honey. There are a large number of ceremonials and taboos connected with the hunt. In the south, the tree spirits must be propitiated with the sacrifice before the sun sets. A special language is employed on the chase, and the proper names of the wild animals are avoided. It is believed that at one time the spirits Bela had fire, but that man lacked it. Therefore, it is forbidden to borrow fire from one's neighbor while the hunt is in progress. Other taboos arise from the fear of driving of the game. Thus, it is forbidden to sweep out one's house, to rape pottery, or to ring a gong at this time. In general, all animals, with the exception of cats, may be killed. Contrary to the custom of Mentawei Islands, the true native Niha fishes without the aid of the boats. In fact, the Niha does not make use of boats at all. The rivers are not adapted to this form of navigation, and the natives fish only in the rivers and not on the beach or in the sea. Fishing rights in the river belong to the village nearest the portion of the stream in question. Fish are caught by means of bamboo traps, drag nets, throwing nets, and fish hooks. Fish also are poisoned or caught with nets behind artificial dams. The people of the south eat 3 meals a day, while in the north 2 are eaten. Men, women, and children eat together, but the slaves eat apart. Eating is done with the fingers, but the people have pottery, coconut shells, and bamboo water containers as utensils. The oldest form of fire making apparatus was the fire drill, but fire likewise was made by percussion and by stone and flint. Both dogs and cats are are of importance in Nias. The dogs asu live under the houses or by the huts, as in Mentawei they live on the oval of men. Although they are not used as watch animals, they are useful in hunting. They bite the prey and hold on to it until the hunters approach. Cats meow have somewhat of a second nature, as already has been indicated. It is forbidden to kill or sell a cat, since this animal serves as watch animal on the bridge to the land of the dead. Clothing and decorations. The national clothing for men consists of a loin cloth and a cloth around the head to hold down the hair. Cotton has rapidly replaced the non-washable tapa. Women wear a cloak or at least a loincloth or a cloth around the head the same as the men. Hats are used by both sexes as protection from the sun. In the south, tapa sandals are worn by people who walk on coral. Costume varies according to the circumstance of the person, closeness to civilization, and the weather. Chiefs do not wear especially rich clothing but assume gold ornaments at festivals. In the south, gold ornaments are worn by the chiefs and important people at all times. The loincloth of men is usually red, blue, or yellow. Young men try to wear as many different colors as possible. Poor people possess nothing more than a short tapaloin cloth and coat. After death, all decorations are taken off and only old clothing is worn. Men wear their hair long and tied at the back of the head in a knot. Women keep their long hair tied up with a headband. Gold is the principal material used as decoration. Its name Kana'a, Sanskrit Kanaka, shows that Nias had already trade connections with either India or the Hindu colonies of Sumatra. Silver, copper, tin, brass, iron, and lead are used in making the heavy Nias earrings. Glass, either or copper beads are worn. Other decorations may include crocodile teeth, the teeth or tails of the finger of the tire, and tortoise or snail shells. Rodan is often coiled around the body, and fruit, thorns, leaves, and or flower straws in the hair. The hibiscus flower is mentioned in the earliest myths. It was worn by men and women to keep away the evil spirits. The body is rubbed with oil but is not painted. The Niha do not tattoo. Certain of the old people of the south are tattooed, but this was done for the sake of visiting the Batu Islands. The resident Mentawei islanders of this group would have killed and tattooed strangers. All the Niha have their teeth filled to a point, and formerly the teeth also were blackened. The filling is done with a native file, and the teeth afterwards are polished. The operation takes place between the 10th and the 14th year of the child's life. Boys are circumcised as a sign of manhood between 13th or 16th year. The operation is performed by a layman, is without ceremony, and is merely the common Indonesian incision, thread, and artifacts. The Niha mined copper as early as the 10th century AD, as is shown by Persian document, and probably had gold long before. The civilization of the island is therefore of long standing. In former times, however, slaves were the chief article of trade, and it was not until 1904 that the slave trade was ended, nor until the last few years that the slave holding was entirely abolished. The people of Mentawei and Enggano later held slaves or where they themselves either used either as slaves or servants by foreigners. In 1836, the exports from Nias included coconuts, domestic wool, paper, and many slaves. The importer consisted of iron, steel, copper work, gold, grains, linen, and Chinese wares. There is no manufacturing for selling Nias, but goods are made solely for home consumption. The chief industries of the islands are the making of idols, tapa making, woodwork and carving, clay burning for pottery, metal working, netting, the manufacture of coconut oil, cotton working, rope making, painting, matting, weaving, and the gaining of salt. Gold ornaments are made by the goldsmith, and helmets, hooks, shields, and lance points by the ironsmith. Actually, there are no true professions in Nias, since everyone engages in pig raising and agriculture. The chiefs and important men supervise the work of their field slaves. The most honored act is that of the goldsmith, and next that of the carpenter and copper worker. These trades are carried on by chiefs and the sons of chiefs. Even such an important trade as that of the goldsmith, however, is stopped at harvest time. Women do all the work connected with pottery and weaving, while men do all the work in which cutting and hammering plays a role. The wives of the sultan chiefs engage in no heavy labor whatever. The division of labor appears more equitable among the Niha than among the Bataks. The man performs his part of the agricultural operations, takes care of the animals, goes on the hunt and fishes. Since almost the entire population is engaged in agriculture, each early rising is necessary, and the people are awake at 4 or 5 in the morning, unless the worker has slept in his field, but the first hour is devoted to cows in the town. In the north, the palm wine drinkers then go to gather the sap which has flown during the night from the trees into the bamboo receptacles. The cattle food, which has been brought in the night before from the fields, is now given the cattle at 8 or 9 o'clock. After the dew has dried, the people are engaged in field work at certain times of the year in the rice fields. After the work in the fields, the men go home and the women gather food for the animals. Before eating the evening meal, everyone in the southern villages goes bathing. Food is prepared and eaten at about 8 in the evening. Then comes an hour for gossip and storytelling. By 10 all are asleep. Rice season is the one of chief activity. After that is over, there is much hunting. The facilities for trade within the island itself in pre-colonial days were favorable, especially in the south, where the paths were well kept. The paths even today are laid along the river banks, and one has to wade through water. Bridges are sometimes formed of a single rattan with another above as guide. There is no one suspension rattan bridge on the island. Goods are carried by hand. Goods are carried by hand on the back or on a stick suspended over the shoulder. Women have carrying baskets with straps over the head and shoulders. In time of war, the women carry the baskets while the men travel unencumbered ahead, armed with lance and shield. The musical instruments are of both percussion and wind variety. The most primitive instrument consists of two shells which are struck against one another. Various sized imported gongs form the native orchestra. The wooden xylophone used consists of 3 planks and is played upon with 2 sticks. The native harp is made of 2 bamboos between which lips are attached. The strings are struck with a hammer. The wind instruments consist of 3 kinds of flutes and a trumpet. A rice flute is made from rice stalks and is blown at rice harvest. Small bamboo flutes also are used. Like the Polynesians, the Niha have nose flutes, but these are found only in the north and are rare. The weapons of offense consist of spears, swords, daggers, stones, and of recent years, arms. The spear is more used than the sword. The spears are, the spears are both round and held in the hand for thrusting. In head hunting, the victim is first thrust through with the lance and then decapitated. As in short syllabus, a warrior often creeps under the house of his enemy and thrusts through the floorboards with his lance. Stones are thrown by hand. Sinsings are a noun. The Niha make no use of poison weapons. Weapons are inherited and are not buried with the dead. They rarely are hung up with the images of the dead. 2 forms of shields are used for protection. The first is oval in form and found throughout the entire land. It is held by the arm and is used to guard off thrown lances and sword thrusts. The second form of shield is four-cornered. The shields are made of wood. Warriors usually wear leather jackets made of crocodile or carabao skin, and on special occasions, helmets of thick leather ornamented with crests of black hair and artificial beards and mustaches, the same material. Megalithic culture. The megalithic culture of Nias has received widespread attention from scholars due to its obvious connection with India and South Asia. Heiner Gelden, who has made the most thorough study the megalithic complex, believes that megaliths and the sacrifice of cattle belong to the same historical layer in southern Asia. In Nias as in Mentawei, the pig sacrifice replaces the cattle sacrifice. The main regions of well-developed megalithic culture in Indonesia as are the islands of Nias, Sumba and Flores and a part of Celebes. These also are prehistoric stone monuments in Java and Sumatra. Stone structures are entirely lacking in the Nicobars, Mentawei and Enggano. There is the closest resemblance between the megaliths of Nias and those of Naga of Assam. Although the stone culture of Nias is presumably of later date than that of the Naga, it is more fully developed, and men here often assume the form of obelisks. In Nias, as among the Naga, there are stone fortress walls, paved streets, and stone steps leading to the villages. Again, as among the Naga, the memorial stones are of 2 varieties: the monuments erected in one's lifetime and memorials erected by survivors after the death of a person. A further resemblance between the 2 regions lies in the fact that the erection of a memorial stone is accompanied by costly feasts, of which there are several grades. Furthermore, upright stones represent deceased males and lying down deceased females. In every village of Nias, one sees stone benches which originally were erected as seats for the ghosts of the dead. In the south, the simple bench is called dago dago, and those with the back attached tedrohulu. In north, these benches are called bihu and harefa. Benches are likewise to be found in the woods mountains, and their bathing places, serving the living as well as the dead. In many villages, the skulls of ancestors are kept under the dago dago. The dago dago, a stone bench assembly place of the Niha, corresponds to the assembly place Mare of Polynesia. Contrary to the customs of Sumatra and the other western islands, Nias is noted for its abundance of idols, usually of a phallic nature. These images are called Adu, Behelo or Behu. Adu for Aitu ghost, Behelo from Malay Berhala, idol, Behu from Behu ghost. All the idols are called Adu in the north. In the south, this word is used for idols not called Behelo. These latter being idols made in the case of sickness, as in the Nicobars. Idols are made of clay, stone, or wood, usually of the latter substance. In case of a dead, an ancestor idol is made in and kept in the house. Children and men and women who have left no male descendants are given no idol. The sickness idols are very crudely made. The upper portion is forked with a bare indication of eyes and nose. The doctor uses this to summon the spirits who are to return the soul of the patient. The stone idols are called gowi, the same as the benches. They represent men and women with exaggerated sexual organs, indicating a desire for children. The raising of these stones takes place with great festivities. Time reckoning. The people of Nias period time The people of Nias period time from the period in which their ancestors came from the world from the world above to the earth. Each individual is able to give his genealogy from time that his first ancestors came to the earth. The Nias year begins with the rising of Pleiades, called Zara. There is another story of the seven children Pleiades went to the sky. The parents and the slave Orion followed. Planting is started 1 month after the rise of the Pleiades. The year is reckoned between two consecutive risings in the same locality of this constellation. If one wishes to reckon in longer periods than a year, one counts the number of intervening Christ crops, each crop representing 6 months. The year is divided into 12 numbered lunar months, and the month is divided into two parts, the rising and the waning of the moon. The first part of the month is propitious to the beginning of undertakings, and the last part to their ending. The month again is divided into days, some of them lucky and others unlucky. The day is divided by descriptive terms, such as sunrise. The sun is called Sibaya, which is also the name of the rise spirit. It is believed that there were once two suns and no moon. The stars are thought to be the children of the sun and moon. The Niha, like the Polynesians, reckon duration of time by nights instead of by days. There are only two regions in the sky, the place where the sun rises and where it sets. There likewise are only two directions, upstream and downstream. It is thought that the Bataks likewise originally had but these two directions, game and dances. The Niha, as is usual with the Indonesians, make little use of artificial objects as an aid to the games. No game of Hindu origin are played, but one of Chinese origin, viz. Kite flying. The few, the few games in which artifacts are employed, including football, playing with a lasso, throwing a spear at a target, and throwing stones along the water. In football, the ball is made of rotten and the object is to keep it as long as possible off the ground. Schroeder believes that the ball may represent the sun, which the people endeavor to keep from setting. The game is played without objects, include those of strength or agility and those of wit. Among the first variety may be listed tag, swimming, standing on one's head, trying to pull one another over the hand, tug of war, and imitating pig stealing. Game of wit include riddles and ring singing. Sometimes objects are concealed and children are sent to find them. Games usually are played at the time of feast, when the people also amuse themselves with the native dances. The favorite dance is the war dance, in which warriors in full armor with spears and shields engage in mock combat. The snake dance is found in central North Nias. This is enacted by men, with the women following with mincing steps. While the Nia are not so much given to animal impersonating dances as the Mentawei is the chicken thief set, as in the chicken thief dance. A woman impersonates the chicken hawk. The clapping of hands represents clapping. The clapping of hands represents the clapping of the hawk's wings as it descends. Family feasts are given at rice planting, harvest, house building, the purchase of a gong, birth, betrothal, and name giving. Chiefs give feasts to the entire village, and the circumcision of a young chief is an especially important event. While Nias feasts are not surrounded with taboos, as among the Naga and in Mentawei, yet they do represent in a communion with the ancestors, and doubtlessly the dances and games enacted at the time were originally of religious significance. Drums and gongs furnish the music for dancing.